Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my 2024 Notion setup. Every year I start fresh in Notion, I start a whole new setup, I go over what worked in the previous year and what didn't, and then I apply that to the new template. And this is going to be the first year that I'm actually sharing the template with you guys so you can actually use it yourself. My setup this year is still heavily inspired by what I used last year, but it has been refined and adapted to exactly how I prefer to use Notion and just what I find most useful. So let's get started and I'll share with you everything that's in my Notion. Okay, so this is the setup that I have here. This is what the template's also going to look like. So here I just have 4 different sections of life that I wanted to kind of categorize the pages in, and then here we just have a link to a database which we will get to that shows my to-dos for today, and then I just have this image here as well. So this is kind of the look that I went for this year. For reference, this was last year's setup. It's not completely different this year. As you can see, I still use all the icons and still kind of the same layout. It's just a bit simpler. I didn't find that I needed all those pages that I had previously. So let's get started. First, we're going to cover productivity. So here we have 3 pages. We have planner, yearly planning, and habits. So let's go into planner. First off, we have here the input page where you input all your tasks. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and insert edit video. Then we can go to category and I can categorize that. I can set a due date, so let's go for tomorrow. And then priority, I can set high, neutral, or low. So I'm just going to go neutral. And once you click on input, it's going to leave the input table and go into one of these tables at the bottom. So first we have today, so all the things that are scheduled to do today. And then we have this week, so that's everything that is going to take place from Monday to Sunday of that week. And then we have later. So these are just all the to-dos that you input into this table here at the top, just kind of categorized and organized into when it's actually due and when you're planning to do that task. I also just put a weekly view of a calendar here in case you want to add any appointments and things and have them at a glance here at the side, and then you can kind of structure out your week and month or whatever from here. So that is also something that I included. You will see you also have a link to your yearly planning setup that you can go through here, but I'm just going to go to the homepage first and then we can get to the yearly planning. So that is just for more short-term planning, planning out your week, all your to-dos. Like I said, this table is linked to all of those things, so everything that is due today will be here at the top and you can just tick them off. Also, I forgot to mention, once you tick something off in any of these tables, so let's go ahead and tick off Film Notion Tour. Once you tick it off, it's gonna be removed from the database, so it won't be in your way anymore. Now let's get to yearly planning. So this is more for long-term planning for your year. So first off, you have a table here at the bottom, which is 2024 goals. So in here, you can set your goal. You can also choose the category, so it's work or personal, and when you want that to happen. So I just arranged it here in quarters, so you can see here we also have quarters, so you can go ahead and just fill all that out. So it's nice to have that at a glance here on the first page of yearly planning, so you just kind of have an idea of all the goals you have set and kind of when you're planning on achieving that goal. And you can also set whether you've started it, whether it's in progress, or whether it's done, so you can go ahead and do that. Also, motivation for 2024, here you can put in anything you'd like, whether it's a mood board, whether it's a quote, whatever you want, so you can just put that in there. Now for quarterly planning, this is the same for each quarter, so I'm just going to go through the one. So first off, we have monthly planning here, so this is just going and planning each month of that quarter, which I will get into. Then we have quarterly goals, so just the goals that you've set. And then at the end of every quarter, you can go ahead and fill this out. So we have gratitude, so what am I grateful for? Good, what went well, grow, what could have been improved, and goals, what's next. So for this, I have a link here to the next quarter, so you can kind of fill that in as well. And as for monthly planning, this is also the same for each month. I'm just going to quickly show you. So I've added in just the name of the month at the top in the banner. Then we have a link to your planner that you can go ahead and fill out. Then you have goals here. So here you can just input what goals you have, and then this little drop down toggle list, you can go ahead and fill out action steps to actually achieve those goals. So just to break it down in kind of more achievable steps. So you can go ahead and fill that out. And then I also just have this section, plans this month. If you want to list anything out, you can maybe put the date in correlation of the month. So for instance, in January, I have a calendar view here that you can kind of fill out and add things in as well. Then at the bottom here, we have again a monthly review like we had with the quarterly. So again, we have gratitude, what went well, what could have been improved, approved and what's next, and then a link to the next month. So let's just click on that. This is February. And you can just go ahead and fill this out as you'd like. So that is all for the yearly planning. I think you kind of get the gist. I broke it kind of down from big 2024 planning to quarterly planning and then to monthly focus planning. So that is that for yearly planning. Then we have habits here. I'm not a big fan of habit trackers. I find it really hard to just keep up with them, but I've just added in a very simple table, not too high stakes, just to fill out if I want to, if I feel like tracking any habits. I have that here as well. As you can see, each page has kind of like a custom made cover image, which, I mean, you're free to change it if you want to, but this is just kind of my favorite part of designing a Notion setup, is just kind of customizing it to my liking. Then we have finance here. So finance trackers has always been something that's really hard for me to find that's something that works for me. It's sometimes just like overcomplicated, and I just want a very simple setup to just easily plan out my finances for a month. So here I have like a little page for banking with just some information. Then I have here a wish list that you can go ahead and fill out the item, photo of the item, the price, when you are interested in that item, why you're interested, the category. So it's nice to have, you really need or you really want it, if you've purchased it, and then a link to any website if it is maybe something that you want online. So that is just the wish list. And then I also have here the budgeting. So how this works is each month you can just click on new month and it will generate a new page like this. So this is January budget, and how I basically did this is I have here a table for income, so you can just put together all the incomes that you have, the date that it comes in, and the amount. And then it gives a sum here at the bottom. And then you can also just fill out all your fixed bills or expensive, like subscriptions, all that kind of stuff, rent. You just fill that out here, and also just, it will calculate it all here at the bottom, the amount. Then we have savings here, so any savings that you want to save up for, you can go ahead and just enter that in here. And then you have debt, so anything you're maybe paying off, you can go ahead and enter that, and everything will calculate the sum. So where that's going to come in handy is this one here. So total expenses here is going to be your expenses that you filled out here in this table, all your savings and all your debts. You can just fill out those totals in here and it will give you the grand total of all your expenses. And then I just prefer calculating myself kind of what I have left over for the month. So then it's kind of like your total income, which you will get in this sum here, minus your total expenses, which you will get here. And then I kind of divide that into weekly segments of how much I have to spend for that week. And then I just get my grand total there. And then I have weekly pages here. So each week I type in the total that I have available for that week, and I track the expenses in this table here. So I write down the expense, so maybe groceries. I type in the amount that I'm planning on spending or that I did spend. And if it's like a grocery list, I like having like a done section so that I know I got that thing. And then again, that will give you a sum that you can kind of reference back here if you're going over that or under that. I know it sounds complicated. Finance trackers always sound complicated, I feel like, when you try to explain it. But I think once you just play around with it, you'll kind of get the gist. I have kind of like explanations how to use it. So that is how I go about my financing. It's quite simple actually, it's just a lot of tables. And then you just have them all here in this little budget section, kind of organized by month. Next up we have meals and recipes. I think it's really nice if you want to save some recipes on Notion. So I like having kind of like a meal tracker to see what I'm planning mostly for dinner, to make for dinner that night, so that I know what I need to buy for that week. So for instance, here we have Monday, a dish that I'm planning, Wednesday, which is today, what I'm planning to make for dinner. And here we have some recipes. So these are actually two different tables. So you can go ahead and add a recipe in here. So maybe you're making like a chicken pasta or something. You can go ahead and make your recipe. I have a little template here of everything that you need kind of to fill that out. And then these tables are linked together, so you can actually link each recipe to that day, so that you can actually easily have access to the recipe when you're actually cooking the dinner. So I hope this helps you out. I think it's just a really simple setup for meals and recipes to kind of just have them work together. Next up we have journal. This is nothing too fancy or anything. So we just have here a table for your entry, the date of the entry, and also just a little template of kind of how you're feeling that day, what you're thankful for, all that. So that is all that I have here. And then I just have 2 pages here, which is thoughts I want to keep and thoughts I want to archive. So you can go through this table after a while if it's kind of filling up, and you can go through and say, oh, maybe I just want to keep this little memory. So then you just go ahead, click here, click to move to, and then just move it to keep, and then it's gonna go ahead and be saved in this little section. So that's kind of the minimal setup for the journal here. This is not something I use often, but it's nice to have if I ever need to journal something down and want to type it out. I can have that here as well. Next section we have here is growth, and then we have work. So growth here, we have 3 different ones. We have books, we have learning, and then I have Bible here. So the books template that I have here is one that I actually purchased from Gridfeedy. They have an amazing templates gallery. So that's what I'm using. I will have a link in the description if you want to get it for yourself. It's just very intuitive. It has a lot more information than the one that I'm going to be giving you, the template that I'm going to be giving you. It's just really nice and concise. It shows you what you're currently reading, what's up next, and it also has all these little sections of what's your favorites, what you recently read, your read history, a calendar of when you read what. It's just a really nice setup. And then you also have your whole bookcase here, and as you can see, all the books that I've read. It's just really nice. It has a lot to it, so if you want to get that for yourself, I will have that linked in the description. The reading template that I'm going to be giving you is just a very basic version of that, which yeah, I still more recommend Gridfeedy's one, but it's this one here. So we have what you're currently reading, what's on your TBR, your books, and I just have this view for your 5-star books, and then we just have all books. So I mean, it's not bad, but Gridfeedy's one is definitely better. So yeah, you can choose whichever one you'd like. Then for learning, this is just a very plain page where I just make pages if I maybe want to take notes on something. So these are just courses that I maybe wanted to take notes in, and just have that here. Then for Bible, I just have this little section is very plain. So I have here Bible study, and then each book of the Bible that I kind of want to do Bible study on, I can kind of just fill that in here. And then Bible school, I have different topics that I can add in here. So very basic setup, but yeah, that's just something that I also wanted a page for in Notion. Next up, we have the thing that I probably use the most in Notion, the thing that I reference every single day, which is my content manager. So this is where I do all the planning for my videos, scripting for my videos, for shorts or reels. So first section we have here, as you can see, is YouTube. So this is kind of like a Kanban board view of everything that I need to get done, or just ideas, what I'm planning, what I'm writing scripts for, and what I'm filming. So I can just go ahead and organize these. I also have a calendar view of that as well, to see exactly when I'm planning to post what. Those are the only 2 views that I actually use in this YouTube section. Then we have here at the bottom, we have short form, which is basically just all the reels and YouTube shorts that I plan on doing. So as you can see, again, I have a calendar view here, and also just I have a list of everything that I'm planning on doing, and I can go ahead and fill that out and plan that out. I also have like a template for creating a YouTube video that you will see. So it just has this little banner at the top, and then the script for that video, the filming list that I plan on doing for that video. So every shot that I need, if it's A-roll or B-roll, and if I've done that shot. And then if I need to add anything in description or timetable, I just have that here at the bottom. So that is how I kind of have a template for my videos. And then I just have some pages that I find useful here at the side. These are just some licenses for music. This is brand collabs that I've done. And then I have sponsorships here, which is a different page which we will get to. So sponsorships is something that correlates back to Content Manager. So this is just the name of each sponsorship that I've done, the type of sponsorship that it is, so whether it's a dedicated video or just a product integration, or if it's only for social media platforms. And then I also have the duration of that partnership kind of, so if it's just a once-off partnership, if it's multiple videos or things like that, or if it's like an ambassadorship. I just have that here, all that. And then within each little sponsored section, I've made a little template of everything that I need to fill out, usually for a sponsor. So like the brief, documentation that I can just link here if I need to quickly glance at it again, and then kind of the timeline of the project and what's kind of expected. So that is how I organize this. But then also we have this little view here which links back to my content manager so that I can link exactly the video that I've made for that sponsor. So as you can see here, all my videos pop up and I can choose which one correlates to that sponsor. And this goes vice versa. So going back to Content Manager, for a new video, I can select whether there is a sponsor for that video and who that sponsor is. So that is kind of how that works. It's really actually simple. It's just really helpful to kind of have those correlate back to each other. So it's kind of just more organized. And then lastly, we have resources here. So this is just a place where I dump anything that doesn't actually have a space. So I have things like nails, I have some things for Yeelight, just things that just doesn't have a space. I just dump kind of here into this little folder. So that is actually basically it for my Notion setup. I hope it doesn't sound too complicated because I've tried to make it as simple as possible because I actually don't like too complicated of a setup. I just like to have my things, get it done, not having to worry about too many different variables. So yeah, this is my Life Hub, and this is kind of the template that I'm going to be sharing with you that you can use. So basically the exact same setup, it's just empty for you to use however you want. If you do end up using the template for yourself, let me know your thoughts in the comments and maybe ways I can improve or what you particularly liked about it. Definitely leave those in the comments down below. I love learning and getting feedback from you guys. And also maybe tag me on Instagram if you have an image where you're using your Notion template. I would also appreciate that, just seeing you guys using it. Link in the description to this template, also a link to the kind of book tracker that I use if you want to get that one for yourself. Yeah, this is just such a fun thing to set up and kind of make for you guys with you guys in mind. So I really hope you do enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.